So this is the Solstick Samurai 156 review by the Good Ride. Rode this with Stratus and Adidas Tactical ADVs. It hasn't been the kind of review that I'd hoped to do. You know, maybe this would have been better in spring. I just had no idea about how much like powder came our way in the time that I had this. So I spent a lot of my time on the scrambler and the flashback, and really didn't get to give this the attention that I hoped I could. But here's my take. It's just a true twin, decent width. Check the on the table review, kind of that hybrid rocker, but very stable. There isn't much bend in each direction. And it's just a fun all mountain freestyle twin. And it's got a mellow flex in the tip and tail, but a stiff flex between the feet. The flex in the shop is different than on the snow. You can feel the tip and the tail are a little softer. It's a pretty easy board to butter, although I have been buttering some pretty stiff, aggressive camber boards lately, so maybe this feels a little easier because of that. But I feel like, you know, it's like medium stiff between the feet, going to kind of medium-ish in the tip and tail. It's got good pop, it's easy to butter, and then the on-snow feel, it doesn't feel super catchy. It can be, it's pretty forgiving. It's kind of, most of it's kind of touching the snow, so it's not the most forgiving hybrid rocker board I've ever tried, but it's definitely more forgiving than full camber, and that's kind of what I would thought would be in the, you know, the Soul camber, the Soul line with all the camber for those carvers. But then they just mellow it the fuck out and go hybrid rocker for kind of mountain freestyle riding, and it makes it a much more forgiving, playful, easy ride. It's as playful and easy as, you know, their more directional carvy boards are directional and carvy. So it's kind of cool. Edge holds pretty good. Nothing amazing, but nothing bad. You can ride hard snow with this pretty good. Disrupted side cuts seem to do a little bit better, but man, this thing still held an edge in hard patches whenever I needed it to. And if you really know how to twist this board and really engage the side cut into the snow, it's going to do a good job. The turn initiation for how wide it was pretty good, but you know, a little slow for my size 9 feet. I wanted the 156. If they have a 151 or something like that, or a 52, that'd probably be more appropriate for my specs and size, but I wanted something a little bigger for my weight as opposed to my boot size. But if I was gonna own this board, I'd probably want the next size down. It's not super wide, but it's definitely more on the mid-widey side of things. The turning experience is fun, but man, it's just so mellow and so different compared to, you know, the Soul camber boards. They're just so much more dynamic and lively in a turn. But look, this butter's better. This is playful. I could actually take this into the park. It feels great for like, you know, getting some air, hitting kickers, but it's not gonna be your real, like, it's a fun turner, just making basic turns. And then as you start to get into the carving, it's good, especially for a hybrid rocker, but it's lacking compared to some other rides. And then, you know, speed, it's fast and damp for what it is, and it's not very loose. Uneven terrain, it's got that nice balance between being damp and poppy, and so you can kind of like ride all day if you want in uneven terrain. Switch, it's great. It's a true twin, so it's great either way. And then, you know, I didn't really ride much park, just because I'm just wasn't in the mood. I'm not much of a park guy. I'm kind of old and broken, but it butters well. It got the little bit of air that I got worked really well. You could even probably jib okay with this, but not great. And riding pipe might be fun on this, but I didn't ride the pipe. Our pipe looks big and scary right now, and I'm feeling kind of tired after all this powder and all this, you know, these morning early ups. But you know, enough excuses. I'll flick the sand out of my vagina and tell you that overall, I think this is a fun mountain freestyle board that can kill it in the park if you're, you know, if you want a little more girth, a little more something to your board, a little more width. This will be a fun mountain freestyle ride. So there you have it, the Samuri. You know, it's one of the first twins I've ridden in a long time. There's just been so many directional boards these days coming through that you know, it's hard to give it a real fair shake. I've compared it to some other boards like my Yes Greats, but that's a 51. You know, which has some more of that wider width. That was the closest I could get, and it wasn't a fair comparison. They're just so different. Couldn't really get into it. So there you have it.